This conference will now be recorded.
So what do you know about a variable? Let's discuss about variables and the data types. Let's focus on these two areas. Let's see here as much as possible. We'll try to cover it. Okay. So what do you know about variable?
um, Variable is something you can assign values, define. You have whenever you have to define something, you use variable.
Yes, basically to store values, right?
Yeah, to store values. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that, but actually what will happen internally when you say some x equal to 10, okay, some x equal to 10 or index equal to 10, okay, so this is my variable name x, right? So what happens actually? So this 10 is my value, actual value is 10. So in the memory area, so in somewhere in the memory area, it stores its value. So the 10 is going to sit in this place, right? And this has some address, memory address. We call it as what? Memory address. Memory address, it is stored at some particular location, maybe 111 012, some location, some number, some random number. What is this? This is the memory address. Okay, so I have another area, okay, in the memory itself. Okay, so the actual values are going to sit in somewhere else, and I have another area which called a stack. Okay, in this stack, so it's going to maintain these addresses. So it is going to maintain this address 111 012. What is this address? This is what the address location of my 10, and this is a reference. We can say this is a reference value, and this is the reference value stored in the stack memory, and the actual object data is going to store at the heap memory. Okay, those are memory levels, but we'll speak about them in detail in advanced sessions. Okay, the heap area, and this is a stack area. Okay, stack area. Now, so the value gets stored in the memory, not in the x, right? So x is just a name. So I wanted to call you, then how can I do that? So if I know your name, I can call by name. So this name is given to a person to identify him, in the similar way. X is a name, x is just a name to identify a particular value address, value location. So this is my x is pointing to this, or holding this reference address. This just holding this reference address. So then after some time, if you try to access this x, if you wanted to print the value of x, so meaning that it is going to look for the memory address location. Okay, this is what the address location. From here it looks in the memory. Okay, at this memory, what is the value it has is 10. So that value is going to access. So like some basic internal things, that how it works. Okay, but ultimately, yeah. So the variable is the one, okay, is a kind of label. It's a kind of label given to refer a particular value, refer to a particular value. Basically this is 10, like is a number. 10 is a number. Right? So 10 is a number. 10 is always 10, that's it. 10 is always 10, that's it. So it's considered as a constant. It's considered as a constant. But when you look at the x, so here I have my x value is 10, but after some time I can do some calculations. So on top of x, say x equal to x plus 10 or x equal to x plus 2. What does it mean? So it is going to take the x value, which is what 10, and it is going to perform this addition operation. So 10 plus 2, it does 10 plus 2, which is what? 12. That 12 will be assigned back to x, meaning that my x value is modified to 12. My x value is modified to 12, meaning that the value is changed. the x value is changed. So the x value is varied from this point of time of execution to this point of time of execution. The value is changed. The x value is changed, right? So that is what the name is given like variable. Okay, variable is just it's a capable of varying its value. Okay, variable is the one vary its value, okay, across the program, across the program or application, right? During the program execution, I say its value during the program execution. This is not a bookish definition that what we are writing. This is just we are writing it, we are defining it as per our understanding, right? So vary its value during the program execution. Program execution. That's what it's a variable. Okay, just a name. It is just a name or a label given to a memory or label representing okay or holding a memory address of a value which actually referring to. Okay. Okay, so this can be modified. This can be modified across the program. Okay, so for example, another example, like, so you can think of about your wallet. Okay, so your wallet is just, you might be having a cash today. So in your wallet you might be having $100 today, right? So tomorrow, the same wallet you can be having what? You can be having $1,000. Tomorrow you'll be having $1,000. So but wallet is going to be same. So I'm going to use the same reference, nothing but same container. I can just imagine that. Okay, same container. My container is what? My container is what? Here wallet. Okay, so the name given to this folder or container is what? Wallet. So now my container name or my variable name is wallet. The wallet is holding the cash. The cash may be varied from today to tomorrow. So this is considered as a variable name. A wallet is my variable name, nothing but my container name, my box name. Okay, so the whole point about this is a variable can be reassigned, variable can be modified. Once it is initialized, it can be modified. Okay, so variable, how to initialize a variable in Java? Initialization, variable initialization of a variable. So the syntax would be very straightforward and simple. Okay, we need to start with the data type, because uh, Java is a strongly typed programming language. Okay, so you have to specify the type. So integer, I'm taking a number. I'm going to consider an integer. So it is integer. What is the container name or a variable name? X is my variable name, and here I'm defining my value. So my value is what? 100. So this is what my example of declaring a variable. Okay, syntax of it is what? So data type, then variable name followed by a value. This is what your syntax of initializing a variable. Okay, this is what initialization. Okay, there are two terms actually when you speak about this. We have a concept of declaration and initialization. We have a concept of declaration and initialization. Okay, so what does it mean by declaration? Is just we are going to specify the data type followed by data type followed by a variable name. That's it. We don't specify the value. We don't give the value. So that is what I just a declaration. Okay. Okay. Syntax of declaration. So this is straightforward. And syntax for initialization. Okay. Syntax for initialization is this one. Okay. So is that clear?
Yes.
data type variable name. This is what syntax. Okay, syntax of declaration, syntax of initialization. Okay, data type variable name and value. So here it is an example. So for the first example, so this is just int x. I can declare it, and after a few lines of code, I can initialize the value. This is the first example. Okay, this is what declaration followed by. Okay, this is declaration and initialization at later point. Okay, initialization at later point. So of course we can do all together. We can do declaration and initialization all together. Okay, so we can do it. That is what the second syntax we need to follow. Int x is equal to the value. This is what. Okay, so this is how you can do it. Declaration, variable declaration and initialization. Okay, so variable name is just a reference name that can be modifiable. We can use that reference to do further calculations basically. So I wanted to add 10 to this. So I'm going to do this expression x equal to x plus 10. What is my x value? 10. I have already, and I'm adding another 10. X equal to x plus 100. Now it becomes what? X value 200. So meaning that I am accessing the existing x value 100. I'm doing some operation here, and the result again I'm reassigning to the x, meaning that I'm replacing its value, original content. This is what reassignment. So once you declare a variable, you can always reassign its value at any point of time with a new value. So that value can be modifiable. The whole point is what variable. That's what variable. It's capable of varying from one point of time to another point of time during the program execution. Okay. However, we need to follow certain conventions in Java while you are declaring a variable. Okay, so naming conventions to a variable. So we have methods, classes. Okay, so we'll discuss those naming conventions at later point of time, packages and all. So as part of this, let's understand about variable naming conventions. Okay. Okay, so we need to follow certain naming conventions. Okay, so as I said, Java is a strongly typed language, you know that, and also Java is case sensitive programming language. Java is case sensitive programming language. Sensitive programming language. Java is case sensitive programming language. Meaning that, so if I declare a variable something called sum value is equal to 100. Okay, sum value is equal to 100. Now after that, I'm trying to print sum. So sum of this. Okay, this is just general English, but syntactically, how do we print in Java? System dot out dot println. Print and println you can use either, but println is going to print the value and keep the cursor in the next line. That is only the difference. We'll understand slowly. Okay, so this is this. If you access this, yes, it works well. But if you access capital sum, if you're trying to access this one, capital S instead of small s, only the difference is what? Instead of small s, I just using capital S. So how it is going to work? In this case, how it works? Let me go back to our Java program, which we have written here. Okay, so I wanted to print int x equal to or sum is equal to 100. My sum value is 100. Now I'm printing this. Okay, I'm printing this sum. Right. So now go to command prompt and where we have written our program. Go there. So I'm here. My Java file is stored here. Java C test.java. One more folder source. Yes, I'm having my file here. Java C, Java C test.java. I need to recompile it because I have modified the syntax. So there is some error. What is that error? So here, this is unnecessary. Some hots typo error. Okay, so compile it. Yeah, it's compiled. Now I'm running this. Yes, it is printed 100. Okay, fine. Now what I wanted to do is I wanted to keep capital sum or maybe just capital S. Okay, I need to recompile it or not because I modified the source. I have to recompile it. Now see that it starts giving error. Cannot find symbol capital sum. So that is what the point here. Java is a case sensitive programming language. So you have to use the same case when you are accessing it, right? So this is what the issue with this. So here by mistake, if you keep small s, it gives error. What is the smallest? It doesn't know. If you keep capital P here, no, it gives error. What is this capital P? Because these are predefined reserved keywords, and Java understands if you keep in the same way. But if you do modify anything, it's going to be error. Okay, that's what you need to know clearly. The keywords, the usages. Okay, all the stuff. Now go back here, right? So this is invalid, right? So this is invalid. So some is different from some. Okay, both are different. Java is case sensitive programming language. So while you are working with the variables or methods or classes, anything, so you have to ensure that you are following the cases. That is the first point. Then, so while declaring a variable name, so you have to follow certain conventions, okay, and you have some rules as well. When I say rule, you must have to follow that. When I say convention, that is given for best practice as a Java best practice. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about a rule. So Java variable name must not start with a letter, must not start with the letter. That is what sorry, number. So you can say digit. Okay, meaning that so I can't define my variable something like this 20 uh, abc is equal to 100. I can do this. So here my variable is started with a digit. So that is not acceptable in Java. So here, so I'm taking a number, something like two sum. Okay. So just I'm going to use this two sum here. Now go back to this and see compile. I'm just compiling it. So as soon as you compile, it starts giving error at that. Okay, and saying that it's not a statement or illegal start of expression, meaning that you are not allowed to declare your variable name uh, starting with the number, starting with a digit. That is not allowed. That is not allowed. So that is the point. That is the rule. So it's absolutely a compilation error. So it gives a compilation error. It gives a compilation error as it doesn't support. So variable name must not start with what? A digit. But can I have the digits? Can I have the numbers in between my variable or at any other place of my variable, not except from the starting position? Yes, of course you can have it. So meaning that ABC 20. I'm just adding this 20 at last. Can I do this? Yes, of course you can do that. This is possible, quite possible. Okay. Or in between, can I use A, B2? 0C. In between, can I use something like this? So these are valid declarations. So go back here and just give it a try. You don't have to print it. So of course, if it is not allowed, it starts giving error here itself, like saying that this is not a valid, this is not valid during the compilation time itself. So what I'm doing here is I'm just compiling it. It's compiled with no errors, meaning that it is acceptable. Meaning that it is acceptable. So you can happily use this. You can happily use this convention. Okay. The next point. So what are the other things that I can use to declare a variable? Okay. So I have many other things right on the keyboard. So I have some special characters, right? This tilde operator, at the rate, hash, dollar, etc., etc. So can I use any of these special symbols as part of my variable declaration? Yes, you can use two special characters, dollar, dollar and underscore or allowed. Okay, allowed. So except these two, if you try to give any other special character, it's going to be error. This is a rule. Okay, so variable name allows this only dollar and underscore. Okay, so if you try to give any other special character, it's going to be error. It's going to be error. So let's understand that. So here I am going to uh, use underscore total or something. Okay, so this is what underscore. Okay, this is what underscore total. I have used underscore, which is a special character. Let me recompile it. Is it giving error? No, meaning that it is allowed, right? It is allowed. Let me take any other thing. Dollar, yeah, dollar I wanted to use. Dollar sum is equal to 100. Is this valid? Is this allows? Is this allows? Just compile it. Yes, absolutely. So you can use this underscore and a dollar. And is there any rule like we need to use in the beginning, at the end, or at middle? No rule. You can use that at any place wherever you want. You can use it. There are no such rules. There are no such rules. So, and let me try using any other special characters apart from this. Okay, I'm planning to use at the rate. I'm planning to use at the rate. Okay, x is equal. Okay, 20. I'm using this. So now compile it. Starts giving error or not? Illegal start of expression burst. What is this at the rate? So you are not allowed to use this special character to declare your variable. So this is not allowed. Got it? So not only at the rate, so you are not allowed to use any other special characters except underscore and a dollar. Hoping that it's clear. Okay, then the next point is okay. So this is going to be error. Okay, so this is valid. Okay, this is valid. This is valid, but this is not valid, right? We're clear about this. So variable name allows only dollar and underscore. Okay, and here you can see the other stuff. Now I have variable name rules. Okay, still there are rules still. So there are, of course, in any programming languages, certainly there are few reserved keywords, meaning that the words are reserved for some purpose. The words are reserved for some purpose, meaning that if you see here public, so public has some special meanings. It has some special semantic, and you are not allowed to uh, use this special word to declare your variable name as your variable name. A class has some special purpose. So you are not allowed to use them as what? Variable names. The point here is reserved words. Okay, reserved words are not allowed to use as a variable name. as a variable names. So here, so for example, what I'm talking about public, right? So I wanted to use this as a variable name. Public is equal to 500. Okay, so here I'm taking this as an integer again. Now go, this is going to be error, right? Let me remove this for this execution because we are not interested on this, because we already discussed about all this. Okay, let me remove all of that. So our interest is about this. Okay, now I have saved the file. Go to command prompt and see, compile it. Java C test.java. Okay, it starts giving error, right? Illegal start of expression, illegal start of expression, boss. What is this public you are trying to use? This is not allowed. This is not allowed. Or let me use class. So this is not allowed. Class is not allowed. Static is not allowed. Okay, so these are reserved keywords. It is not recommendable to use. Okay, or I have certain data types like integer, float, or something like that. I'm just taking float. So float, what is this float? It's not a statement, valid statement, because float is a reserved word to represent a floating point values. It is a data type, like how we are using integer. It is integer is a data type and float is what? Another data type. So you are not allowed to use, you are not allowed to use this as what? This as what? So variable name. So you are not allowed to use the reserved keywords. So here, this is what? So here, public is a reserved keywords. Public is a reserved keyword, and you are not allowed to use it. Reserved word, you can say, and we are not supposed to use it. Supposed to use as a variable name. Right. So that's how. What are the list of reserved words in Java? There are a number of reserved words, guys. So while going on, we'll understand. So while discussing about data types, we'll get to know what are the different data types you have. All the data types are reserved words. When we are discussing about flow controls, we'll be using that if, else, okay, while, do while, switch, etc. Those are all reserved words. If you're talking about exception handling, there we use certain keywords, try, catch, okay, finally, those are reserved words. Okay, so public, class, static, all these are reserved words. Okay, so at the end of the story, you will get to know what is reserved word, what is not. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that, or you do not have to by heart that. Okay, this is the list of reserved words I do not use, so let me by heart it. No, no, absolutely not. All right, so is that clear so far?
Yeah.
We are just discussing about the basics of variable, okay, and then it is always recommendable to follow certain conventions uh, while you are declaring a variable. Okay, so I am declaring a variable, so it is highly recommendable. It is a highly recommendable or a best programming practice recommendable to follow the naming conventions. Okay, even though even though uh, it is not a rule, but it's a best practice. Okay, so we might write the code hundreds of lines of code or thousands of lines of code when you are looking at a real-time application with the lot many business scenarios, right? We write hundreds or thousands of lines of code. For example, you have declared a variable name at some point in the beginning of it. Okay, so something like you are defined something like x. Okay, you declared something like x, and this x is being used after 1,000 lines of code, after 1,000 lines of code, and you have written this code, and maybe you might be coming to know, okay, you might be coming to know about this x. Okay, what is the x is holding, and what is the intention of x? Why do you use this x? Maybe you are storing a customer age or customer policy number or something like that. You are working in the insurance domain, and assume that you declare this as a policy number, and you know that because you have written the code, and you know that what is the x. Okay, it's a policy number, and you do the calculation wherever you want by treating this as a policy number. Okay, you do further calculations on this. But what about the other developers who are working on your code? So tomorrow, maybe some other developer getting into your code and he's trying to fix an issue in your code. How does he know? Okay, X is, he has to refer the declaration and all its usages, and here he get to know, oh, uh, this is what referring to policy number. That takes extra time. So meaning that your code is not readable. Your code is killing the readability, which we should not. Okay, so to improve that, you have to follow the conventions. So if what you are storing in that variable, so you have to give that. So policy number you wanted to store, you follow the naming convention. Okay, policy number. Okay, give the name, complete name, or like at least a short name that represent or that sounds like what actually it holds. Okay, the policy number, it's a policy number, and here after 1,000 lines of code or 10,000 lines of code or anywhere. So by seeing that, everybody will get to know, right? Okay, what the value it is going to holding the policy number. Everybody will understand it. What is the confusion, right? So that is how that's what it plays major role to follow the naming conventions. Okay, it's highly important to give this naming convention, and X, Y, Z, that is not recommendable. Okay, recommendable way. Okay, recommendable. Okay, so not recommendable. What is not recommendable? What is not recommendable? So giving just X or Y or Z, something like this. So we don't know what is that X, what is Y. The other developer doesn't know. Okay, so hope this point is clear.
Yes.
The importance of naming conventions, not only in Java, every programming language, it's important. Okay, so yeah, and the other thing is, right, so you can follow when you have a multiple words to combine, right? When you have multiple words to combine, I have okay, I have policy number, right? So here number is different and policy is different, right? So I have two words here. Maybe in other place, maybe I might be having some three words. I wanted to combine three words. Okay, customer phone number. So in such case, customer phone number. How do I wanted to define my variable name? Is there is a convention? Okay, to declare a variable, to declare a variable name. Okay, to declare a variable name with the multiple words. When you have multiple words, combination of words, then we need to follow either camel case. Okay, you can follow, need to follow the camel case convention to declare a variable. This is one convention, but anyhow there you can separate it by underscore also, because underscore is allowed. Okay, something like you can, but camel case is like, for the customer phone number, I wanted to do it customer. This is one word. The next word starting letter would be capital letter phone, and again next word, the first letter will be capital letter number. So this is how you can declare a variable. So long customer phone number. So this is a valid declaration. This is a valid declaration, and Java follows the convention. So if you want, just you can see the existing classes. You can see the existing classes. Say array list is a existing class. Array list is a existing class here. So here you can see the variable name. See here, serial version UID is again special thing. That's what all three letters are declared as that. This is a constant to define a constant. Okay, come down. Do I have any variable here? Yeah, element data. See here. So element is a complete a single word, a small letters, lowercase, and a data. The D is in uppercase. The next word starting letter is in uppercase. If you have only one word, just make all the letters in small lower cases. Okay, so that is how you can declare it, or else also this is also valid, but yeah, but most of the developers, Java developers, prefers this way. Okay, the other way is like if you want, you can go with that customer phone number. Customer phone number. This is also fine. Maybe other functional programming developers prefers this. Whatever you want, you just use it. Okay. So here, let us test this. Okay, customer phone number. I'll go back to this. Okay, so I'm just going to replace this to integer. Customer phone number is equal to 100. Yes, it is valid. Of course, it should be valid. So let me clear it. Now see test.java. So Java test. Of course, yeah, we don't need that anyhow. Just compile. It's compiled, right? That's what the point. The other thing is what camel case. You just take this, and yeah, there's a valid declaration or not. So here you can compile it, and you can see that no errors. So these are the valid cases. Right, so this is what about okay test class now. Yeah, the other thing, constants, right? So if you wanted to declare a constant in your this is also a convention. Okay, so if we need to define a constant, we need to define a constant. Okay, so we have to ensure that we use all the capital letters. Okay, use all uppercase letters. Okay, uppercase letters, uppercase letter with the underscore separation, with underscore separation. So this is what the standard that Java follows. Okay, it's not a rule again, but it's the best programming practice. Every developers are familiar with this. Every Java developer familiar with this coding convention. That's what in the existing code also you can see. We have just seen that one constant here, element, empty element data. By look wherever it can be used after 100 lines of code, wherever it is using. So I don't have to look at that. What is that? So I can blindly I can say, okay, this is a constant, and this is not going to be changed. What is this value? So that represents a constant. Okay, so that is what. So maybe pi value, we will be having pi value 3.14 something, right? This is what a constant. So you can use all the letters as a max. Okay, so I wanted to define some constant value. Okay, loan term is a fixed term. Loan term or policy term is fixed, so 15 years. It will be a constant for me. So our savings account to type basically. I wanted to declare a variable as account to type. Okay, account to type would be saving. Account to type would be saving. Okay, account to type. It's going to be savings account for savings. So saving, then I'm going to take the value as something. So now my variable is fixed. This is savings. This represents savings account. In the similar way, I can declare another variable account to type as current account. Okay, that's another constant. Another constant that represents okay current account. So while we use the account type is the account type is savings account or not, we're going to check with this constants. Okay, this is the standard convention we do follow, and yeah, so we use like anything in our programming. These constants are required. Okay, the constants is the best programming practice. Okay, right, so go back to this and you define some constant. Okay, so int loan term, same thing I'm taking loan term. Is that acceptable or not? That's what we are going to check now. Okay, is it giving any compilation errors? Okay, so see dot no compilation errors, it accepts. So this kind of variable convention talks about constants. Okay, it represents the constants. There's the camel case, there's the underscore separation when you have multiple words. Okay, and the other rules, we have certain rules to follow during the variables. So these are the things. Okay, uh, so next we'll continue with the data types. We'll see if we miss anything as part of variables points. and then we'll continue with the data types. Okay, right.